What's the deal with Wet Hot American Summer first day at camp? Director David Wain and his co-writer Michael Showalter's cult classic comedy returns 14 years later on Netflix, no less, for 8 half-hour episodes that debut on July 31st. All of your favorite sunburned Jews are back for this prequel, even the ever-fabulous Bradley Cooper, who's joined this time around by fellow A-listers like Jon Hamm, Chris Pine and Kristen Wiig, as well as Jason Schwartzman, Josh Charles, John Slattery, Jordan Peele, Lake Bell, and Weird Al himself. It's once again the summer of '81 at Camp Firewood in Waterville, Maine, but things look very different than they do 2 months later in the Wet Hot movie. For starters, Abby Bernstein is premenstrual, the talking can of vegetables is a real live man named Mitch, and camp chef Gene looks and acts more like Martha Stewart than a sweater-fondling, mud-smearing, fridge-humping Vietnam veteran.
You said you were going to go fondle your sweaters. No, I didn't.
The prequel continues to capture the feeling of what it's actually like to go to Jewish summer camp, which I did for 12 years. There's the shower of kisses a mother gives her child during drop-off, and the thrill of finding out who your bunkmates are, and of course having your parents complain when you're disappointed. The show also introduces a rival camp, a sensitive Israeli counselor, a terrible musical, a mysterious cabin that's become part of camp lore, and a secret sludge that may or may not be toxic. Wain and Showalter's expansion of the Wet Hot world beyond the boundaries of the camp is often inspired, as is the blossoming of the gay relationship between Cooper's theater counselor Ben and Michael Ian Black's McKinley, which may be my favorite thing about the prequel, along with Jon Hamm, who gives Anthony Mackie a run for his money. And you'll get that joke once you watch the series or check its IMDb page. Sure, the first day of camp is silly and weird, and with Wain willing to try anything and basically throw in the kitchen sink, not every joke works, but it may have been the perfect comedy to bring back as a prequel on Netflix. Like Arrested Development, there's a built-in fan base for this series, yet unlike Arrested Development, which was a major downgrade from the original show, everyone on Wet Hot is in on the joke here and plays it with a sly wink. I haven't watched the movie again yet because I want to watch the last 2 episodes of the series that I haven't seen, but I imagine it's going to give me an entirely different perspective on the show. Wet Hot American Summer wasn't really the kind of movie that left me with a lot of questions, but the way that certain ones are explained is actually very clever. Wet Hot American Summer first day of camp is a welcome addition to what has been a very boring summer for comedy on TV. The State Gang and their friends are back in the bunks where they belong, and Baruch Hashem for that. Now, if I can just get everyone to promise that 10 years from today, they'll meet again so I can see what kind of people they've blossomed into. This has been What's the Deal with Jeff Sneider. Follow me on Twitter at @TheInSneider, and thanks for reading TheWrap.com.